Hello, and thank you for joining us in today's free online training session on how to work with products. My name is Amanda, and I will be taking you through this training today, in which you're going to learn how to create new products, find, edit, or delete existing products, as well as copy existing products into new products. Today we will be recording this online training session to provide you with a reference link to watch this video in the future. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so here we go. From the home page of your website, the first thing we need to do to get to the admin is sign in. So you're going to use this sign in link up here at the top. Next, you're going to log in under the returning customer section with your email and password that were provided to you upon setting up your account with us. We're just going to plug those in here and then click on the login button. This will then bring us back to the home page of our site, but if you notice up here in the top menu, when you're an admin user and you're trying to get to the admin account, we have this new link that says enter admin here. You're going to go ahead and click on that, which will in turn take you to the admin of your website. Alright, and here we are. So from here, make that, there we go. So by default you're brought to the dashboard tab in the admin, but you'll notice we have many different tabs running along the top here. For today's training session, we're strictly going to be dealing with the products tab and working in products. So when you click the products tab, your default page is brought to the manage product page. From here you can either add new products, find existing products, delete products, or even copy products. And we're going to get into each of these as we go a little bit deeper and give you some more info on doing each of these tasks. So the first thing what we're going to do is start by adding a new product. So in this area here we have a new product ID field, which is also sometimes referred to as a SKU number field. This is a number or code. It's not the name of your product or description of your product. It usually consists of numbers, letters, and dashes. And we recommend that the use of special characters or spaces be eliminated. So do not use special characters or spaces in this field. For our sakes, I am just going to set up a test product here. We'll do test January. Okay. And notice again, I'm not using any spaces. I've used my dash, but no other special characters. And you can use numbers here if you'd like. So if I wanted to do a -01, we could do something like that. The next thing is you can choose your type of product you want to create. So if you notice here we have 5 different types of products, and I'm actually going to bring up a graphic so that way we can have some visuals to explain kind of where your products might fall under the different types that we offer. Okay, so here we go. So we have 5 different product types at this time, and we're going to start with our 2-color customizables. This product type allows your customer to design their imprint with a selection of 2 different areas of the imprint using 2 different colors. So for instance, looking at these examples here, the butterfly on the left and the text on the right can be 2 separate colors. It's being divided vertically. So the stamp is divided into 2 separate ink areas vertically. Whereas the one to the right of that is divided horizontally so that the logo can be in red and the restaurant address and phone number can be in black. So it's 2-color customizable products, or when you have a 2-color or multicolor, I should say, pad that goes with that particular stamp item. This is not where you would want to set up 2-color daters. 2-color daters are the one exception to this 2-color customizable type option. Those would actually fall under your customizable or customizable with layout product types. So we'll move on to those here now. The customizable product type allows your customer to design their impression using the Custom Vantage Web system with a live preview of their design before they order it. So I can go in as a customer and choose my product, type my own text, get my preview, all before adding to the cart. So these might be address stamps or bank stamps. I might be doing some logo stamps, things of that nature. Would be set up as a customizable product, or anything really you want previewable. Moving from there, we're going to actually hop to the customizable layout and up in that top right corner. And this product type is similar to customizable. The only difference is that customizable with layout products allow you as the shop owner or the web guru to have the ability to lock and set certain aspects of the design, to have control over them, and so that the customer can't type in them. So good examples of this might be notary products, where you have a state name or the text "My commission expires" that can never change, and you don't want your customer to be changing. But you still want to allow them to have the ability to put their name in and preview it, and put their expiration date in and preview it. Same idea from the kitchen of stamps. I might want that from the kitchen of to always be there and not let the customer change it. Same thing with my little rolling pins, and all I want them to do is be able to change their name in the middle. Those all fall under customizable with layout. When you're locking certain lines or aspects of the design that the customer cannot change, but still allowing them to change the pieces to get their preview of that product. Okay. Next is a generic product. This is a product that is non-customizable, so the customer does not get to preview any text or graphics or upload any images to these products. Good examples of these are bottles of ink, stamp pads, replacement pads, maybe even stamp storage you have, or stock stamps or stock teacher stamps. All of those kinds of items fall under a generic product type. They do not require me to let the customer have any customization. They're as is, or maybe you have a couple options with them, but nothing that the customer needs to be able to preview. And then the last product type is stencils. Stencils are strictly for stencil products. They do require a special configuration, which we're going to go over in a future online training. So for now, I'm not going to get too far into it, but it is for stencil products only. Back in the admin, we're going to actually start by creating a generic product. So we're going to do this as like a stock stamp. We're making a stock stamp right now. And I don't need the customer to preview it or anything, so generic will work just perfectly for what I'm doing. Once I've got my product ID set, as well as my type chosen, you're going to go ahead and click the New Product button. This is then going to take us into the product editing page. Now, by default, you're brought always to the General Information tab, and up here it gives you your SKU number of the product you're working on. Over here on our left-hand side is our menu options for editing this one product. So all of these are options and different settings that you can set up or not set up, your choice, for this particular item. So we're going to go through, starting here in the General Information screen. The first thing we have is an active checkbox. If this box is checked, that means the product is active and available to your customers. So your customers can search for it, they can see it on your website, they can buy it and order it. If it is inactive, which would mean this would be unchecked, the customer does not know this product exists. So to them, they can't search for it, they can't buy it, they can't see it, but you can still see it in the admin. So this is good if you've discontinued a product, or maybe you don't want to sell a particular product anymore, and maybe in the future you would. This is one of those things that allows you to just turn them off and turn them back on with ease, and not having to recreate your products every time you decide to make those adjustments. Next, also actually right by this active checkbox, it tells you the product type. So we've created a generic product. This would change depending on whatever type product we've created or we're editing. It'll tell us that product type right here. So next, you're going to give your product a name. This can have spaces and special characters. It's not like the SKU. You have more flexibility here. So for our purposes, I'll just say paid stock stamp in this field. Next, you have your pricing areas. So we have the site costs through the site price. So the most important one, and the piece that you should pick up the most here, is the site price. This is the price that your customer is going to pay you. So whatever you want to collect from the customer for this particular product, you want here. So I'm just going to put $10 for mine. A list price, some people like to use it, some people don't. It's optional. Same with the site cost. I'm going to show you the site price so you can see what in turn that does on the front end and how it looks to a customer. So a lot of Custom Vantage Web users do like to use this because it makes your product look like it's on sale, even though I always sell this product for $10. I might put in here $12.50. So my product lists for $12.50. I sell it for $10. It shows that to the customer as $12.50 crossed out, and then it'll say you saved $2.50 in red, and I'm only paying $10. So again, it gives that illusion that your products are on sale. Also, if you do work with list prices, then that field is there for you to work with. And the customer side of it is just kind of a bonus. So also, I'm just going to note, we're going to skip a few things here today and just get through the basic setup pieces so we can make the most of our time here today. And we'll go through some more of these detailed options in a future installment of these online training sessions. Excuse me. So the next fields we're going to actually jump to are the short and long description. Short description has a character limit of 255 characters. In here, you can do regular text that you type. You can also do HTML if you're feeling up to it and are comfortable with doing HTML. HTML will work in this area. If not, you can just simply type whatever description you'd like to give it. So I might say this is going to be a red paid stock stamp. Available. You know, type whatever you'd like in here. Again, you do have a character limit. It counts you down as you go, so you don't have to try and figure it out. Unlike the short description, the long description does not have a character limit. I can type as much as I'd like in here. I can also add tables, which, just note, if you do work with tables, they are non-mobile friendly. So if you use a table and put content in it, it might not look right when you go to a mobile device. So I would say stay away from them or only use them in certain situations. Again, though, this is your site and you have all the tools available for you to decide what you'd like to do, but just note that tables are not mobile friendly. In here you can also add images or links. A lot of the text options are very similar to Microsoft Word. So you have your bold and italicized. I can center it. I can choose different fonts, font sizes, change my text color or the background color. It's really unlimited in here. Also, if you are the type of person who prefers to work in HTML, you'll notice we have these options at the bottom of the editor. In design view, whatever you type in here and whatever you see in here is how it's going to look on the front end. HTML view gives you the ability to write your own code if you prefer to do that. And you can also preview the area that you're designing. Moving on, we have a sort order area. So the sort order allows you to place your products in a certain order that you'd like them to appear on the page. The default is ordered by the product name in alphabetical order, so A through Z. Or if they start with numbers, obviously numbers will come first. Sort order just lets you control where the product shows up on the category page. So whatever is a 0 will start first. The second one would be a 1. The next one would be a 2. The next one would be a 3, etc. Some people also like to skip numbers. So, for instance, going 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, which allows for extra numbers in between in case you have to add a size or a different product in between them. You don't have to reorder all of them. You can just kind of fit a number between 0 and 5, and there's the next product. I hope that makes sense for everybody, how that works. Next thing I want to point out is just one field under here in the advanced bar. So to open these bars down here, you just simply click anywhere on the bar. It doesn't have to be the drop down arrow or the name. You can click anywhere on this bar and they will expand. But in here, what I want to point out is this file to be sent to admin. So in my case where I'm making a stock stamp, I might have a vectored file of this impression. And anytime somebody orders this product, I want that impression to be sent to me with their order. So I don't have to go digging for it, and I have a nice, clean, crisp image to produce the stamp with. If you have something like that or want to utilize this, all you need to do is hit the select button, browse through your images here, or upload a new one, choose the image, and it will upload automatically with the order for you. So I'm just going to cancel this for our purposes, but I did want to show you. Next is the meta tag section. We're going to do a whole segment on meta tags and SEO, so I'm not going to go through this, but it is available to you to start working on if that's something that you'd like to do. This next section is for taxes. This is if this particular product is a tax-exempt product, or if it belongs to a specific tax class. If not, you can just leave those blank. And the last section, which has just a couple things we need to go over, is shipping. So something new we've added is you can make your items or your products a free shipping item. So if you have a particular thing that you just always ship free, you can go ahead and check that box. If not, that's fine. Just wanted you guys to know that it was here and it's something new. The most important part in shipping, though, if you're doing real-time shipping, which means that your site is going out to UPS or FedEx and getting the appropriate postal rates for this particular item or package and for the destination it's going to. If you're doing real-time shipping, you need to have weights on your products. Very, very, very important. If you do not have weights on your product, the customer won't have any shipping options to choose from, or it'll just say there's none available, no available shipping methods. So to avoid that, you're going to go in here and put in a weight. Now our weight system is in pounds by default. You can change that if you're in different parts of the world and you go by different measurements. But by default, you're in pounds, and we do this in a decimal form. So we have this little chart over here as an example or guideline to follow. If it's 2 ounces, I would type 0.125. If this particular product was a pound, I would just put a whole number 1. So I hope everyone could follow that. Any questions so far? Okay. So again, as I mentioned before, anytime you make any changes here, you're going to want to hit the Save Changes button. So if you're creating a new product or you've edited a product and made some changes, make sure you go ahead and hit that Save Changes button. Alright, so next we're going to go to Product Features over here. I'm not going to get too in-depth on this, but I do want to explain where this kind of comes in handy on generic products. So if you've got an ink bottle product, and the ink bottle product comes in 5 different color options: black, blue, red, green, and purple. And I need the customer to choose a color, but I don't need them to fully customize anything. I just need them to choose a ink color for their bottle of ink. I would simply just add a shared feature or a private feature. We have a ton of stock shared features for you to choose from already. You can also create your own, which again we're going to go over another day. But there's plenty of stock ones here to choose from. You can also create private features for this one particular item. So the difference is private features are attached to just that item, whereas shared features can be applied to multiple items. But do note, if you change anything with a shared feature, whether that be an option in the shared feature or a price change, it will affect that feature on whatever products you've applied it to. So just keep that in mind. In our case, I'm just going to choose a 5 color, so I can choose between black, blue, red, green, and purple ink. And I will show you guys where this shows up as well. So again, that's product features in a nutshell. We'll get into it a little bit deeper later. Next is the images link, where you can upload your small and medium product images. You also have the option to add additional images here. So just to make you aware of where these show up, I'm going to bring you to the front end here. Alright, and let me just go into the self-inking category. So the product images that you see here on this page, which were on a category page, are all considered the small image. When I click the image, I get to the product detail page, in which I see a medium image. If I'm utilizing the additional images area and I add more images, they show up in this tab here on the product detail page called additional images. And from here, you'll see the images, however many you put, loaded into this area. And if a customer were to click on them, it gives them a little preview like this. They can go to the next one, etc. So these are the images we're actually going to go work on over here. So to choose a small or medium image, you can click these select buttons next to each. And then this is the image manager screen. So on here, you can upload your own images, or you can use something called shared images. To upload your own image, you need to be on the local images folder, or just images folder. It'll say in certain locations. They're one and the same. You need to be here in order to upload your own image. If you'd like to use any of the images we have provided, you're more than welcome to. That's what they're here for. So I just clicked on Use Shared Images, and then as you can see here, we have various different folders of different types of products or different manufacturers. So however you work, or whatever you need is most likely here. If you don't have a product image that you need, you can request it by emailing us, and we'll see if we can get that for you. So for our case, I'm going to just find, we'll use the 1000 just for sakes here. So I just choose the small image. It previews in this area here. I would then hit choose. As you can see, it gives me the preview of what I'm going to see on the home page. Next, I'm going to select my medium image. And I went to Trodat. And there I go. I have the small and the medium in place. Now if you're uploading an image and you don't have them in the recommended sizes, you can change them here to resize small or resize to medium, but you're going to have to give them new names if you're utilizing this. So an easier way than dealing with all that, if you do not have the small and medium sizes already made before you come to this uploading part, what I recommend, so these would be empty. We're going to do it like we just came here and we haven't put any pictures. Let me save that and get back. So we haven't added any pictures. If you're in this stage and you have one large image and you don't have the tools to make a medium and a small at their correct sizes, here's a trick for you. What you're going to do, again, no image can be in here. So there's no path, it says no image available. Has to be like this in order for this trick to work. So we're going to click on Add Additional Image. We're brought to that same screen where you would upload a small or a medium image, but instead I'm just going to choose my larger image product, or larger product image, excuse me. So I'm choosing this image here, and when I click the choose button, it will automatically create the medium and the small to the proper size for me. Now if I don't want this in here but I still want the medium and small, all you need to do is hit the delete button, say OK, and these remain, and you don't have that additional image. You can also come back in here and add other images at any time. I can edit those. I can even add multiples to that, like such. When you're done adding the images or making your changes here, again, click the Save Changes button. Now, the way you know the images saved is that it takes you back to the general information screen. So we have saved our images. The next link we have is called Related Items. Under Related Items, you can search for other products that you want to associate with this one, and they show up when this product gets added to the cart. So when I add test-jan-01 to my cart, I will see whatever products I associate with it here. So maybe I just look up some inks. And we'll go with the multi-surface and this one. Perfect. So now these two products will show up in a You May Also Like section on the cart once I add this to my cart. So I'll show you that when we get to the front end to see all our work we've done. If you want to remove any, you just select them so they're highlighted in blue with white text and click the Remove button. That'll move them out of that related items list. For now, I'm going to keep the two so you can see what that'll look like. Now this is one area. There are a few exceptions in the site that do not have Save Changes or OK buttons, and this is one of those areas. So once it's in here, it has been saved. You can move on. Next is the Categories link. This is where you can put your product into categories on your website. All the categories that have been created on your site show up here. Please note though, this is not the place you want to be to create a new category, edit a category, or remove a category. This is simply just adding the product to the category you want it to appear in. Now you can add it to one category or multiple, up to you, however many places you'd like it to show up in, by simply just checking these checkboxes or unchecking them depending where you want it to appear. Now when you have your product into the categories you'd like, you're going to go ahead and hit the Save Changes button. Next we have inventory. The way that inventory works, it'll track the amount, or the quantity will go down as people order this item. In order for the inventory tracking to work, you do need to activate it under the Settings tab. So let me go ahead and show you the Settings tab here. And then on the left, you're going to go to Inventory Notices, and you're going to make sure that this is unchecked. So where it says Disable Inventory Tracking, if you want to track it, leave it unchecked. If you do not want to track inventory, make sure you go ahead and check that box and hit OK. So speaking in terms of wanting to track it, if we leave this unchecked, you're also going to want to make sure you have a valid email in this field, as when stock gets low, an email gets sent to you notifying you, for example, that product test Jan 01 only has one of these left in stock. Time to reorder. To get information like that, you need to make sure you have that valid email in here. Once you've got your changes, just go ahead and hit OK, and you'll be ready to go. So per item, you're going to want to put your available quantity in here. So maybe I only got 100 on stock. When my inventory reaches this number, I want to have this happen down here. So the way that this works, this is my available quantity. When I get to, maybe when I get to 5, I want to be notified. And I also want my customers to have this option here. So when it reaches 5, when the quantity reaches the update level, this is my update level, then this is what I want the site to do. I want it to, you can either leave it on and don't track the inventory, show the product as back ordered and allow purchase, or show it as back ordered and don't allow purchase, or you can just have it removed from the store altogether. So that's your choice on how you'd like to handle it. You can also have a back ordered message that just says this item is back order. We'll send out as soon as it's fulfilled, or something like that. We will talk about this a little bit later, but main inventory tracking information is going to be all up in here. When you're done with those, you're just going to go ahead and hit the OK button. Okay. Next, we're going to go to the file downloads. This just briefly is for a product that has a downloadable electronic file, like a PDF, that you want the customer to get. You can go ahead and attach it here, and it'll send as part of the confirmation email when a customer places their order. Not very popularly used, but just wanted to explain what that was briefly. The next section is the customer review section. This is where you can see reviews for that particular product or moderate them. You can also moderate products. They will come up, reviews for products on your dashboard tab. It will notify you how many reviews you have to moderate. So if you want to decide what shows up and what doesn't, you do have that capability. You do need to have customer reviews turned on as well in the Settings tab. So if we go over here to Settings, and you go to Product Reviews, you want to make sure Allow Product Reviews is checked if this is something that you want to allow on your site. Also, you can decide whether you want to show the reviews on your site or not, if you want to moderate the reviews or not, allow product ratings or karma scores. Product ratings, that'll give you like the star ratings, so a lot of people do like to have those. And then how many reviews do they see by default before they'd have to hit the show more button. Once you've got these settings how you'd like, you're going to go ahead and hit the OK button to save your changes. Once that's turned on, this will be active on the product, and the customer can then click write a review and submit a review. Again, if you're moderating reviews, they won't show up right away until you go ahead and allow them. So I'll show you where that is as soon as we're done here. We're just going to go to our last link on the left, which is called Volume Discounts. In Volume Discounts, you can set up discounted prices when multiple quantities are ordered. So for instance, if I've got one product at $10, or one of these stock stamps is $10. If you buy 5 of them, I'll give them to you for $8 each. If you buy 10 or more, I'll give them to you for $6 each. And you can do as much as you'd like. I can go all the way to like 100 or whatever, even more than that. Whatever quantities you want to set up and make different price levels for them. So when the customer types in 6, I'm getting 6 of them at $8 a piece. At any time you can edit these and change the price. And then you would click this update button. You can also delete them if it's a pricing level you don't want to have. So you can add and delete and edit pretty easily in here. And this concludes setting up our generic product. So I'm just hitting that continue button there on the left. And I'm actually going to go to the front end and I want to show you the product we have just created. So we're going to look up test January 01. And here we are. This is our small image. This is the name of our product. If we go ahead and click on this, we're going to be brought to the product detail page. And here we're going to see our medium image. We also have our additional images. Again, that same clicking feature is already enabled. If I come back here to the product details tab, you're going to see this is where we had our long description. The product features that I had mentioned where you could choose your colored ink now show up here. So if this were a generic ink bottle product, your customer can choose what color they want, and that will come through in the admin email that gets sent to you with the notification of their order. Now the last part we were going over, which was volume discounts, if I bring this up here, gives you a little chart of what each quantity price level values at, or what that volume price is. Now over here you'll notice I have a quantity of 1 right now, and my price is $10. As I change my quantity to one of the levels, you're going to notice it changing my price that I'm going to pay for each of them. So if we did 11, since I'm over 10, I'm getting them at $6 a piece. If I wanted 6, which is 5 through 10, I get them for $8 a piece, or 5 through 9, excuse me. You'll also notice, I'm going to go back to 1 here, that crossed out effect with the you save amount we talked about a little while ago when we were going over pricing. So we entered our list price of $12.50, but the price I'm charging the customer, which was the site price, was $10. And here you can see that text I mentioned where it says you saved $2.50. So it gives the illusion to the customer that it's a discount or it's on sale. So a lot of our customers like to use it for that. We also have a separate discounts and customer pricing area where you can do a lot more with discounts and such, which again we're going to go over in another installment of these online training sessions. So this is the product we created. I'm just going to choose any color so we can add this to our cart. When we add the product to our cart, you'll now notice we have the You May Also Like section with the 2 products that we added to our related items. So this is where the related items are going to show up. Okay. So moving on, now that we've created a product, I want to just go through finding that particular product. So over here we have different options to search by. We can do it by the keyword or SKU number, which is the most common. Keywords can consist of the product name, anything in the long or short description, and even the SKU number itself. The next one is the type of product it is. So when we do that, we can search by two-color customizable, generic, customizable, etc. The next option we have is by category. So when you're doing it by category, you can select a certain category or subcategory, and as I'm selecting them, you will see the products that are inside of that category or associated with that category. And from here you can edit them or delete them or copy them. You can also search by manufacturer. Again, we have all of our manufacturers listed here, or by vendor. I'm going to go to the keyword SKU, and we're going to type in test Jan 01. Now you can type in the whole name, the whole SKU number, or even just a part of it to find it. You don't need to type the whole thing. So if I just did test Jan, it would still find that one product. So once I've typed what I'd like, you're going to go ahead and click the Find button. That'll populate your results here below. Now anytime you would like to edit, delete, or copy a product from here, you need to select that item. To select an item, you're going to check this checkbox here, and once it's checked, it means that item has been selected to do something with. Now from here, you can edit, delete, or copy a product, which is this section here. Okay. Right now, I'm just going to show you how to edit. So once it's checked, we click the Edit button. It brings us back to that general information screen where we started from. And if you notice, I still have all my options on the left, so I can go back and change things at any time. And when I'm done making changes and saving my changes, to get back to our search screen, we would just hit this Continue button on the left. Next, if you want to delete, again, you're going to select your item, and then you would just click the Delete button. I'm not going to do that just yet because I want to show you guys how to copy an item. But it's as simple as that. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to delete? You're going to go ahead and hit yes if that's what you truly want, and it'll remove the product from your website. I'm now going to show you how to copy a product. So if you need to change SKU numbers, or you have, for instance, the printer line, we have a printer 10, 20, 30, etc. If this were a printer 10 product and I want to make it to a printer 20, but I don't want to type all my information again, this is a fast way of doing that. Or like I mentioned, if you need to change SKU numbers, you're going to have to utilize this tool in order to change that SKU number, as it's the only way to change a SKU number. So from here, I'm actually just going to call this new product. We're going to give it a new product SKU number, or ID. Again, this should consist of letters, numbers, and dashes, and no spaces or special characters. So I'm going to go ahead and type test, and maybe I'm going to do January, and it was supposed to be 02 instead of 01. Next, I'm going to select my product type. Now, if I want this product to still be a generic product, like I did here, I can just keep it on same as original. I don't have to go choose generic product again. But in this case, I want to make it customizable. So I'm going to say, take this product and copy everything, just make it customizable instead of generic now. So I'm going to go ahead and hit copy. Again, we're brought to this general information screen, which should look very familiar. When you copy an item, just note that at the end of the name field, it's going to put a 2 in parentheses that you're going to want to get rid of. And maybe here, instead of now saying paid stock stamp, I might say paid custom stamp. Oh, if I can get this right here. And let's just put that as our short and long descriptions. Perfect. Okay, and now maybe for the stamp my price changes. I'm going to change my list price. Oh. There we go. Alright, so I can change whatever I need to here and then save my changes. All my options over here on the left are exactly the same up to volume discounts. But if you notice, on a customizable item, we get this additional link called Custom Product Design. We're going to go ahead and click on this, as this pertains to just customizable or customizable with layout items. So any customizable item is going to have this additional link. All the rest of this is exactly the same, what we just went over. And now we're going to touch base on this here. So under Custom Product Design, we have the ability to set our width, height, maximum lines, and an attribute for the impression area. Whether that be a stamp or a sign or a date or what have you, this is where you're going to configure those options or those settings. So the width of my stamp, I'm just going to make it a 2.5-inch stamp by, let's do, there we go. Okay. So when I'm entering my width and height, do note that it's in inches and we're going to use decimal form for this. So if it's 1.5, it'll be 1.5, 1.25, 1.25, etc. My maximum lines, this is how many lines am I going to allow the customer to type on this particular stamp. So mine's going to be up to 3 lines of text. Okay, next we have the custom attribute. A custom attribute sets the shape, the type of product this is, whether it be a dater or an engraved sign or a seal or stamp, defines that, as well as what fonts, font sizes, and colors the customer can choose from on this product. So that's very important to set. In this case, I'm just going to do an inking stamp. You do have a bunch of predefined ones that come stock with the site, and you can make your own as well, which we'll go over doing in a future issue of the online trainings. These top 4 things are super important. If any of these are not filled in or do not have information in them, your product will not work properly. It might even throw an error to your customer. So very, very important these 4 things are filled out. And if you are working on your product and you go to look at it on the front end of your site and see that it's just not working, or it doesn't show the impression area, or maybe you don't have any lines of text to type in or fonts to choose from, I would first start by looking at your product in the back end and making sure that these top 4 items are filled in. That is 90% of the reason why some customers' products do not work on their initial setup. They've missed this part. So very, very important, top 4 things need to get filled out. Now these next 2 things are optional. The Stamp Design Wizard ranking lets you rank this particular product of Test Jan 02 to be best, better, good, economy, or budget. So those of you who might not be familiar with where this shows up, if we go to our Stamp Design Wizard, or some of you have renamed it to Design Your Own Stamp, if we go to that tool and we start typing our information, you'll notice here we have different options of stamps that fit the text that we're typing or the impression we're building. As I add more lines and more text, these will adjust and change into different options. So if you want that particular product that we're working on or that you're building or creating to show up as an option in the Stamp Design Wizard, you want to go ahead and make sure you give it a ranking. The next piece is a new item. So this is a new feature and by far one of my favorites. So the next mount size bigger and smaller group. The way that this works is you set certain product lines or items into groups. You have 20 available groups to work with. You cannot rename these in the system at this time. So what I recommend is you write down on a piece of paper group 1 through 20 with dashes next to them and specify on paper what goes into each group. So what I mean by that is I might have written down group 1 is going to have my 2000 plus printer line rectangled. Group 2 is going to have my 2000 plus printer line rounds. Group 3 is going to have printer line square. Group 4 might be my X-Stamper rectangle. Group 5 could be my X-Stamper round, etc. And you can do that through group 20. You have 20 groups to work with. And if I say group 1, just as our example, or I'll go group 5 because I know there's stuff in 1. So I'm going to put this product in group 5. Now anything in group 5 will be able to go up and down between mounts without the customer losing their text they typed or any graphics they've uploaded. So I'm going to show you this real quick. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and hit the Save Changes button. So I can, again, just save all that work. So the way that the next mount size bigger and smaller works, I'm going to go under self-inking here, and we're going to go to the printer 20. So I put all my printers into group 1. So as a customer, I've customized my printer 20. I might go here and put in some information. There's my address, but it looks a little small. I might want it bigger. And notice when I go bigger now, I have an issue. So currently, or the way it used to be, if you're not utilizing this new tool, is your customer in this situation would go back to the screen they were on, either by clicking here, starting from the home page again, or hitting that back button in their browser, and choosing the next one bigger and retyping everything again. Well, we've put in this new feature, the next mount size bigger and smaller based on groups, so that your customer doesn't have to retype everything. So seeing that all my printers are in group 1, you'll notice I now have these two buttons here. This one says smaller size when you hover, and this one will say larger size. And I can easily click between them and move up and down and not have to retype all my information. Notice now I'm on a printer 30, my price has gone up to whatever the printer 30 is, and I can go up as far as it'll let me in that group. So in this particular one, I have up to the printer 60, and now you'll notice here that I don't have any more that I can go up. So now I can only go down in size, but having the groups allows the customer to flexibly move from one to the other without having to retype all their information. So that's next size, mount size bigger and smaller groups. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue here to bring us back to the main screen. Now this concludes creating new products, finding, editing, deleting, and copying existing products. And that's all we have scheduled for today. I want to thank everyone for joining us and listening in. I hope this helps you in navigating your website a little bit better and working with products on your site. please join us for our next session, which we will get out to you guys. And I look forward to doing this again with you. Thanks, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.